Hi everyone, welcome to part 3 of our Excel 365 function series. This series is all about discovering new functions and learning how to master them. So you can easily use them in your daily task and become the go-to Excel hero in your work or freelancing. If you have missed part 1 or part 2, the links are available in the description section of this video. Make sure to check them out. So let's begin with the switch function today. Switch is basically used to compare your information against certain criteria. It is the alternative of nested ifs. So let's see its application through different examples. In the first example, you can see I have the information about marks of some students and I want to grade them according to this criteria. So let's begin with applying the switch function. The interesting thing about the switch function is that it asks you for the criteria against which it will start evaluation. And this is basically known as the expression. Okay, the switch function reads your expression and then act accordingly. Now, in this case, you can see that marks are not exactly the same as the criteria. They are basically falling within the ranges, but they are not exactly the same. For example, I am not comparing 80 with 80, 70 with 70, 60 with 60. I am comparing the ranges. I want to see if these marks fall under any of these categories. This means when my switch function starts scanning the scores, it will give the answers in the form of yes or no. For example, let's say it starts scanning 55. First, it will check the range greater than 80, no. Then it will scan it within the range 70 to 80, the answer will still be no. It keeps going till it comes here within the range 50 and 60, so it will find it 55 here, okay. The answer will be yes. This means the switch function has to respond in the form of true or false. So I am going to give it the direction that when you find true for any value, then give me the answer. Then we are supposed to provide the values and criteria. Let's say I want to see first data range, so I am going to say if D4 is greater than or equal to 80, then return me the grade A. If D4 is greater than or equal to 70, then return B. If D4 is greater than or equal to 60, then return C. And if D4 is greater than or equal to 50, then return C minus. And if D4 greater than or equal to 40, then return D. Okay, close the parenthesis and press enter. And let's just drag it down and see it has accurately decoded our information. Now let's see the second example. In this example, I want to label my products as fruits, vegetables, meat or dairy. So this means that I want to see it simply and respond to the type. This means I do not want to scan it within the ranges. I want here the exact match. So for this case, type switch, and for the sake of expression, I am going to give the product as it is because I want the switch function to see the product and then categorize it. Here we can type if apple. You always type the text within inverted commas. Okay, if you are giving the reference of the cell, then they are not come within the inverted commas. But when you are specifically typing the text, it always comes within the inverted commas. If it's apple, then give the result as fruit. If it's carrot, then give me vegetable in answer. If it's chicken, then label it as meat, and if it's milk, then label it as dairy. Close the inverted commas, close the parentheses and press enter. And here you can see it is giving us the required information. Right now, let's understand it with the help of third example. In this example, I want to get the name of months against these dates. So, in order to feed the expression to switch function, I want to get the months from the dates first. Otherwise, how switch function can understand that I want to get the months? So, for this case, I am going to type equal to switch, and here for the sake of expression, I am going to use another formula, and that formula is basically your month. Okay, then give this date, close the parenthesis. Okay, your month function basically extracts your months in the form of numbers 1, 2, 3 from the dates. Then let's put here 1, this is our value, and the criteria is to return Jan. Means if month is 1, return January. If month is 2, then return Feb. If month is 3, then return March. Then close the parenthesis and hit enter. And here you can see it is giving us the name of months according to the dates. So let me show you exactly how month function works. Enter the month, give the date, press enter. So here you can see it returns the results in the form of 1, 2, 3, and this is what we have used here. If month is 1, return January. If month is 2, return Feb. So the switch function is the simplest formula to use in place of nested ifs. We will cover its more complex examples in our future videos, but for the sake of understanding, these are the simplest examples that you can master at the moment. Now let's move towards our next function, and that is basically called as wrap. Wrap has two variants, wrap rows and wrap columns. We will see them both. Let's say I have some information arranged in a single row and I want to see it in separate rows or separate columns. First, I have some name of employees, then their IDs, and then the information of their bonuses. First, I need to evaluate this criteria. Here I can see that after every third instant, the nature of information changes. So let's type wrap rows, feed in the reference of this complete row, and let's give the instant from where we want to break our data. As I told you that information is changing its nature after third instant, so I'm going to type 3 here, close the parenthesis, and here you can see it has arranged the information row-wise. After every third entry, it split the column and gave it in the next row. In a similar way, if you use wrap calls and give the same array, and again we want to split this range after third instant, so I'm going to type 3, close the parenthesis and press enter. And here you can see that it has arranged the information column-wise. The important thing to understand here is that wrap rows and wrap columns function only gets applied on a single row. Now let's suppose we have two rows. Okay. Now let's say we have two rows and we want to apply wrap rows and wrap columns here. Okay. So if you have missed the part 2 of this series, then I suggest checking it, because here I am going to use the HSTACK function to get the results. I told you in that video that HSTACK basically combine your information in the horizontal array form. So let's type wrap rows, and here I am going to use HSTACK function. Okay. Now let's give the reference of first row, then put comma, and then combine the second row. Close the parenthesis, and again we want split at the third instant, so I'm going to type 3, close the parenthesis and press enter. And here you can see it is returning the results in this format. Let's type wrap calls, and then let's type HSTACK, and again let's combine it with this. Okay. And let's combine the second row, close the parenthesis, let's type 3, close the parenthesis and press enter. And here you can see it is returning the results in this format. Now if I want to arrange it in a single column, we can use VSTACK here. You can find more details about VSTACK in part 2 of this series. Okay. Let's select this range and then let's select this range. Close the parenthesis, press enter, and here you can see we have arranged our information from two rows into organized column format. Practice them by yourself so you can get grip on them. Now let's move towards the third function, which is recognized as text. It also has multiple variants, so let's experiment with the text join. Here you can see I have a list of names and I want to combine them. So here I am going to type text join. At the beginning, you are supposed to provide the operator with which you want to combine your information. Let's say I want to put comma here, close the inverted commas. Then I also want to ignore the empty cells from my list. So I am going to type here true and then feed your list. Close the parenthesis and press enter, and here you can see it has combined the list of names into a comma separated series. Now, if you do not want comma or any other operator, you can type it here within the inverted commas, press enter, and here you will get your required results. Okay. Now let's apply another function on that, and that is our text split. Let's say we want to split this information into separate columns, so you can choose it, and then within inverted commas you are supposed to put the combiner, then close the quotes, close the parentheses, and press enter. And here you can see that it has splitted your information across multiple columns. Okay. Now if you want to rearrange them in the same sequence, you can use transpose here, provide this list, close the parentheses, and press enter. So here you can see it has returned the information arranged in different rows. So if you liked today's video, then don't forget to hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more interesting videos.